Good afternoon, December 14th, 2022. Almost done with the year. Woo, yay. 11 days till Christmas. Did you get your presents? I did. Well, one, two. Anyway, hope your season is going well. My name's Jeff, and I'm an alcoholic. And so this video here is a get to know me video. I'm going to be posting a lot more. I'm trying to make sure I do some sort of a daily comment or content, or a few times a week. Eventually, I would like to go live with people, do question and answers and everything else. So basically, this channel I'm creating and going to be doing these videos for is about how to maintain your life of sobriety. Just like my YouTube channel says, living a life of sobriety. It's a doable thing, but again, if you're sober, trying to get sober, have some time, struggling, whatever, that's what this is about. I have 5.5 years. My sobriety date is May 8th, 2017. I'll never forget that date. Last day I ever had a drop. And that was the beginning of where I am today. So when I get into this, it will be I'm not going to share everything because I don't have enough time. I'm just trying to do a 30-minute video here, so I am going to put myself on a timer and go from there. So one of the things that you see behind me up here is my certificate of completion from the Salvation Army. I have tried many, many, many times to get sober. I just couldn't do it. I wanted to. I didn't know how. And I couldn't reach out the best way I could. And that was to ask for help. And that's one thing a lot of people in addiction and alcoholism and everything else have problems with, is asking for help, knowing when. The only time is when you're definitely down on your end, down at the very ground roots, and pretty much everything's burnt to the ground. They call it rock bottom. And if you're at your rock bottom, man, just reach out. There's programs out there to help. Contact me. Send me an email. Send me a message, something. And we'll get you where you need. I don't care what part of the country you're in. Outside of the country, I don't know. I'll try to help, but I'm definitely for anybody inside the United States. There are programs in every state to be able to help you, and if you're struggling to figure that out, I'll do my damnedest to help you, because that's basically my mission, is to help as many people as possible stay sober. I'm not digging on anybody who drinks or anything else. I just know I can't, and I'm going to get into that here in a second. So anyway, so here we go. I have an understanding of what I'm doing. Let's get her done. So 30 minutes. Oh, goodness. I don't know if I can do it. Hi, my name is Jeff, and I'm an alcoholic. Everything about alcohol. I love booze. Everything about it. I love the smell of it. I love the taste of it. Used to love the way it made me feel. It's the after effects, the downsides of the booze. After so many years of drinking and everything else, my body can't handle it. Not anymore. 5.5 years of sobriety. It's just, I know that if I ever pick up again, I'll die. And that's me. It's a right belief, and anything else. Say whatever you want to say. I 100% believe if I ever picked up again, I know I will die, because I know the way I drink, and I know who I am. And there is no stopping Jeff when I'm blasting away, and it's it's not pretty. The after effects are just, oh my God! I'll have to try and find something to be able to show you. Eventually, I get some photos and whatnot that I've actually recently found, and it's amazing. So my drinking started a long time ago when I was really young. Um, and there's no fault. I mean, my family is, amazing. I'm the fourth of five children in a God-fearing Catholic family. And, I went to parochial school. I, did the catechism and everything else. And in fact, my mom was a teacher of catechism for many years, way back when in the day. So um, we were brought up and we went to church every Sunday. Got up regularly, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. A couple times we would change churches, and cathedrals and stuff like that. But it was a good life. Mom and dad were, they made sure we got God in our life and got the teachings and the blessings and everything else. And over the years, I just kind of faded away, because a little bit about me. I'm a Libra. I'm stubborn as hell, just like my mom. I was born October 9th, 1966. So yes, as of today, I'm 56 and a half years old. So my mom's birthday, October 10th. So two Libras. Oh, we butted heads. So anyway, but the upbringing was great. Two very loving and caring people, and all five of us are just amazing. How I look back on it sometimes and I think, how the heck did I not end up somewhere where I shouldn't have been? Anyway, there were those times. But my drinking started about the age of 12, I believe. I was around that age. Started drinking maybe a little bit before that, but there was one night I'd gone out with some friends, told a really stupid story, because I knew we were just going to go out and party and drink and everything else. And that's where it began. A little bit there is, as I grew up, I was always much larger than most people and taller. I grew so quickly. My mom and dad just couldn't, where'd this kid come from? But I am my father's son. So if you look at us, my dad's side is really big and my mom's side really small. So anyway, we are, creatures of our own habit, and my habit was to just find the wrong crowd. And so I did. I tried sports. Some people who might see this are going to find out a little bit more is that in our addictions as we grow older, and our alcoholism and whatnot, we tend to try and make ourselves look more grandiose than other people. And I think that was something as I was growing up. I always wanted to be the guy. And basically I was, but I also told a lot of lies. And that's unfortunate. The thing is, when we're growing up and when we're involved in our addiction and the lies, one comes after the other to cover another, and we can't stop. And it's part of the disease of our addictions. And it kind of started early for me, but as I got older, I turned 21. Buying booze and drinking, it was kind of a every couple of day thing and a weekend for sure. As I grew up, my mid-20s and whatnot, all my friends and everything, whenever they asked me to help, I would be there. Later on, because of my drinking, I wasn't showing up, or I'd show up late, or I'd drink everything you have. And that's one thing. If I went to a party, I'd bring a fifth, and that was mine. I'd bring one for everybody else and one for me, pretty much. And some people are gonna see about this and see some of themselves in it, and that's just the nature of who we are. In our alcoholism, in our addictions, and everything else. Mine was of consumption. I loved beer. I love Budweiser. Oh yeah, but I'd drink anything. If it was wet and it had alcohol in it, I would drink it. So, couple of memories come in. I was 18, 19, partying, just crazy, and we were at this one guy's house, and I call it the 3 Mad Dog Night. And so I had a bet with a guy because at the time we were out on Colfax in Denver, West Colfax Cruisers, yay! So we were partying one night at this guy's house, and he bet me that I couldn't down 3 quart bottles of MD 2020 and not get sick. Challenge accepted. So anyway, I did the challenge. It was an incredible night, and the next day, oh my goodness, it was. And so anyway, the consumption there, I mean, 18, 19 years old, drinking hardcore, and doing some other things, but I should have known then that boom, I was on a path. I mean, you could look back through my history, or I can at least, and go, oh, yep, there I am. Yep, there it is. Over the time. So the reason why I bring something up like that is because it put me in the spotlight. Put me as the man of the hour because I'm going to drink 3 bottles of MD 2020, and so the ego, and some of the things that we learned through the programs that I've been through. And I will be mentioning, Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, the Salvation Army, Celebrate Recovery. This video is in no way promoting any of it. These are the things that I use to be able to help me get sober and move on. So I just got to say that. So as I've moved through the years, life was up and down. I was always looking for the quick buck, or how can I do this, to make the money to be able to, and bouncing around from job to job. And then I finally found, hey, I'm pretty good at electronics and everything else. And then over the years, I was, just looking at what I can do for me. After I stopped, caring about everybody else, all I cared about was the drink. And it was probably a good 15, 20 years of hardcore drinking. There wasn't a night that I didn't have a bourbon and Coke, bourbon and Diet Coke. And don't ask me why I chose those. It's just I love the taste of bourbon, and I like the taste of Coke or Diet Coke. And if you handed me back then a Coke and a Diet Coke, I'd grab the Diet Coke. Just the flavor, just whatever. So, but again, I would drink, everything, and it didn't matter what you had. Again, like I said, if it had booze in it, I was all in, and it was wet. Perfect. Let's do it. Let's go. Over the years, though, it did take a toll. There were times that I was getting up and I couldn't make it to work, and I'd have to call in with some lame ass excuse or whatever. Oh, by the way, if bad language, foul language offends you, scroll away. Just sorry. I am trying to do better. I am. So I also kind of moved away from God. My religion with the family and everything else, I pretty much ended that probably around the age of 19 or something like that. I think it was I can think back, it was probably like a Christmas Eve, because our big thing was going to midnight mass, and those were, over the years, I just told my mom I'd go to 3 masses, or 2 masses, Easter and midnight mass, and that was it. I stopped going to church whatsoever, and then I eventually stopped doing those as well, which is kind of weird, because now, even after all that, when I was drinking, even though I didn't go to church, I would still sit up and watch the midnight mass in Rome with the Pope. So Anyway, the weird things we do when we're in our addiction. So um, I just kind of bounced away. So the story I was going to say is I actually went to midnight mass with beer. I think it was Coronas in my front seat of my vehicle, and I was drinking those, and I was listening to Black Sabbath or Ozzy or something like that, really obnoxiously loud. And that was the last midnight mass I had attended for the longest time. So moved away from that. Just used to tell people, "Oh yeah, I believe," but not really. I wasn't an atheist. I didn't know what I was. I would lie to people, saying, "Oh yeah, I've read the Bible, greatest book of fiction. I read the Quran. I read this." I didn't read shit. A lying piece of shit. And if you believe me, sorry. I can be a good liar when I'm drinking, or so I thought. But as we moved forward, as I moved forward in my drinking and everything else, it got more difficult. The older you get, man, you can't consume like I did and bounce back quickly. And it's a struggle. My thing was quantity, and whenever I found the best thing I found was Ancient Age. That's a bourbon out of Kentucky that it had a good flavor and it mixed well with Diet Coke, and that was it. So and it was cheap. And I would buy them, in the handles, the big ones, the gallon size, the biggest one you can get. I'm pretty sure if they made them by the keg, or I was able to find a way to purchase a keg, I probably would have done it. So as I moved forward with all that, it became a need to have. My body needed to have it. I couldn't function well. I mean, there were days that I could get up in the morning, have my coffee and everything, and I never drank before I went to work. I never drank while I was at work. But when I got home, blam. I mean, I was drinking, if you will, about that size. And I'm not joking, I'm not lying or anything else, because I don't do that anymore. I would fill it with ice to about here and float the ice with bourbon. So I'd come up to about here, and then top it off with Diet Coke. 2 of those, maybe 3 a night. Let that sink in. And I was doing that for probably 10, 12 years. I've lost relationships because of it, because I just couldn't stop. The last relationship I was in, I was probably drinking a 5th every other night, and we were putting water. I would put water in them, just to tone it down so she would feel more comfortable. It's the crazy stuff that we do when we're in our alcoholism. I even used to tell people I have the onset of Parkinson's disease. Who does that shit? An alcoholic, somebody in addiction. Why are your hands shaking all the time? Well, I got the onsets of Parkinson's. And I even did research, Googled, brought up names of doctors. So, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when we do stuff like that, you got a problem. And, if I could just let everybody know about that, that's the most important thing, is the insanity. My brother helped me one time, and I went to so when I tried to get sober, and God love her, my sister has seen me at my worst. Love you, Sue. And the unfortunate thing is she saw me like that 3, maybe 4 times. And I would lie to her. She knew what I was doing, but, I wasn't being honest. So anyway, I tried to IOP. I drank the entire time I was in the IOP. I just kind of figured out the days. It's like, okay, don't drink there, or maybe have one, the alcoholic mathematics is what it is. You start to try and figure out, okay, I got this amount of time. Okay, if I have too much of that, then I'll. It's the same. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Alcohol, drugs. We all do the mathematics. Hey, I got 3 days. Hey, I can rip it the next 2 days and spend Sunday, Monday, whatever your days off are, to try and recover. But we never do. We never do. Because it hurts. The pain and, the constant. It's like, I can do this now without any shakes. It was amazing. I mean, even for me. And I'm a smoker. Okay. I smoke Camel Crush, where you pinch the filter to get that, going from a regular cigarette to a menthol flavor. I was so bad, and I had no control. I couldn't even do that. I couldn't pinch to pop the little ball that's inside that. Ain't that weird? I was so hardcore in my addiction, in my alcoholism, that I couldn't even pinch a little ball. And look at my size. Really? So I would lie about everything. My life was so messed up. And then the money. I was drinking so much and I needed so much that I would let bills go. I would let this go. I would let that go. And then I'd call my father, my mother, and begging for money. Lying my ass off to my father for assistance. Yes, mostly it was so I could, get the money that I need to be able to pay the bills, so I could stay where I'm at. Because God, you didn't want to come in. My place was a mess. Oh my God, how I lived in that filth for so long, I have no idea. As you can see here, this is my bedroom because, it is clean, kept, bed made. Do that every morning, my brother. But it was a mess. I could walk you through my house. It's clean. There's 3 of us here now. That's the reason why I had to move my office into my bedroom. But I had to, it was just, it's hard to describe. Take, I don't know, 2-3 months worth of beer cans, months and months worth of bottles, whatever alcohol. I wouldn't throw them away because I didn't want people to hear the tink of all those freaking cans and bottles when I went to the trash. I would even take the trash out late. Go figure that out. Go away. So it's just, I couldn't, it was the insanity. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. And that's what my brother told me. And I was just like, oh, yeah, you're right. So this last time, after the IOP, I went to a 60-day program. It was actually, as long as you have insurance, you're good. That was a really tough place. There were a couple times I called my sister going, I can't be here. People are crazy. I was pretty crazy too. So anyway, it worked. I was in a 60-day program, and I think I was drinking again within 6 hours. Give or take. And just like I was before. So that lasted for another couple of years, and then my mom had passed away. That was pretty tough. I wasn't sober. I can't stay sober. And so after that happened, I really imploded a lot. And I went into that program, the 60-day program, after my mom had passed. And then I came out, and there was no accountability. There was nothing in my life. I actually got really mad at my brother because there was a conversation that I was having with him and a counselor without me even being involved in anything. He had said, yeah, the decision's been made. He's coming to live down here in Arizona. I'm like, excuse me? I've been to Arizona. I don't want to go to that. Well, look where I'm at now. I'm in Arizona. I had to come down here to get right. So the last time I did this, I imploded my life really, really bad. I was actually about to do the most unthinkable thing that would have crushed everybody in my life. And a little birdie, a little word in my head, and I call it Jesus. Pick up the phone, call somebody, ask for help one last time. I struggled with it. I was in a hotel. I was what led up to that was I was living in a house with a young lady that I used to work with, and she's a great person, but one of her rules was no alcohol. I hit it, but then eventually it caught up. She kicked me out because she found out I was drinking. So the first truth I actually told anybody when I was asked a direct question about my drinking. And she asked me if I was, and I said yes. That was it. So anyway, after all that, here I am. I'm on the road with absolutely no money in my pocket. I had $8. I did everything, the thing that all good alcoholics do. I spent the last $8 on the biggest bottle I could buy because I had a half a bottle of Diet Coke, small, one of the small, 1 liter ones. So anyway, so I did, and that was the last time I drank. Actually, the day before. And then I called my sister, and that was it. I did something that I don't ever want anybody ever to do. I detoxed on my own. Don't ever do that. That was so dangerous. So especially how much I drank. How I'm not dead, I don't know. How I did not have seizures, I don't know. But I look at it as God guiding me to be where I'm at today, I guess. So anyway, just to think about some of that brings back flashing memories. But I had a conversation with my brother. Maybe it was a text, I don't know. But he asked me what I wanted to do. And I said, I want to live. Or at least that's how I remember it. Because I told him I was only existing. I wasn't living. I was existing. That's it. That's all I was doing, was existing. Existing for the booze. 100%. So, we put my butt on a bus from Salt Lake City, a Greyhound bus, to Phoenix. The one place I did not want to go. But I had to surrender, and that's what I surrendered without really realizing that I was surrendering. I surrendered because I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. So I came down here and got into a 6-month program with the Salvation Army. And it has been amazing ever since. Did I have some struggles in there? Sure. But I got through it. And some people, when I tell them about the Salvation Army, it's a 6-month program. Oh my God. Well, I had no money. I had nothing. It's the only place I could get into. And it's amazing. All I had to do is have the willingness to change and stay sober, and that was it. Got 3 square meals a day, had a place to sleep, shared a room with 4 other guys at times, dorm room style. Basically learned how to live again. Shave every day. I had none of this. This was all. I think I was allowed to keep the mustache, but it had to be above the sides. I actually had hair, grew hair, because you couldn't be bald. But 6 months. I was 50 years old at the time, and I always tell people, take your how old you are, multiply it by 2, and that's how many 6 months you've had. So at that time, I had 100. What's 1 out of 100? 6 months. People go, oh, I got to make money to do this, got to do this. No, what you got to do is you got to take care of yourself. This person. That person that you look in the mirror every day and you see all the blah going on. You don't want that no more. You got to take care of you, because you can't help anybody else until you get yourself straight. You can't be of service to anybody. You can't be a part of anybody's life. I missed my nephew's wedding when I was in there. They didn't want to see me. Not in the mode I was. Oh, hell no. Now, probably, because I'm sober. I'm living the way I'm supposed to be living. I have God in my life. I have, my brother's love. The one brother that couldn't get along with, hung up on him, told him to F.O. and everything else, probably several times. We still have some battles once in a while, but nothing like that. Because we can get along, we can talk to each other about stuff. And I couldn't. But that's what I learned. With God, being able to be in front of other people and talk about stuff, that's what it's about, man. Being able to have everything come back to you, tenfold. I have my family, got a vehicle, I got a nice place. Are there struggles? Sure, everybody has a freaking struggle. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. But I do it because I have God in my life. Jesus is my Savior. I pray to Him every day, talk to Him multiple times a day. And it's just as simple as this. Hey, God, thank you so much for everything you've done for me today. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me in the past. Please guide me through the day. Take care of my family, my brother, my sister, my father. And if anybody out there needs just a little bit more than what you were able to give me, I'll be all right. Go help them. In your Son's Jesus' name, I pray that. Amen. Simple. Pretty simple. That's my timer. I'm already over 30 minutes, so. That's what I do today. I don't have to drink to cope with issues. I talk about it. I have a sponsor. I go to AA meetings. Trying to go back to Celebrate Recovery. I'm trying. I'll be there. But, I'm living a life of sobriety, and it's good. Each day away from your addiction, from your alcoholism, from whatever ails you, it could be anything, is a good day. And the farther away you get from it, the easier it is. And I'm doing this because I want to reach out to those people who really need help. It's okay. I've fallen many times. Okay. I'm not guaranteed tonight I wouldn't go to bed drunk. There is no guarantee. There's never a guarantee. But it's what I do from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed at night that makes my day. Am I going to give up? Am I going to go grab a bottle? Is life going to get Okay, stop, reflect on what's making you feel that way, and address it. Don't address it to where you're going to get in a fight with somebody. That's just stupid. But address it with calming down. Why are you feared? What's your fear? What's your anger? What's going on? And then relax, take a breath, talk to somebody. Sponsor. Might not be a bad idea. But it's okay. And the beauty of it is that once you get through it, you go, oh, the heck was I worried about? Okay. So move on. Reach out. Don't do it by yourself. You can't do it. There is no way. And if you need, send me an email. Message me. Somehow, whatever. And I'll be there for you. As best I can. Okay. Don't call me asking me for money. It ain't happening. I ain't got none. But I can give you suggestions. And maybe help you make the right choice, the right path. So, have an awesome day. My name is Jeff. I'm a grateful, recovering alcoholic. Thank you. Look for more. Subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I hope to see you again. Peace.